All right, welcome and thank you for coming. Hey, man. Coming out this evening. Hope you can hear me. This is a great turnout. We're very excited to bring the presentation to you tonight. I'd like to first off thank the high school group that was playing over here, the Legion 7, and Director Ashley Smith, for coordinating the evening. National Vietnam Veterans Day. With this we thank those who served in the Vietnam War. I'm Jason Cassidy. I'm the co-chair of the committee overseeing the athletic complex project. The district has taken huge strides under our new leadership, and this press conference is organized to share significant district updates with the community. We have two presenters tonight from Sean Kruger, who's our district superintendent, and Adam Maria, who's our activity director. Sean started his role with the district this past summer. He has moved to West Liberty. He's committed to keeping the district grow and prosper. And he's involved with many community activities. Adam is the district's first full-time athletic director or activities director. In the past, our ADs were teachers and coaches. They couldn't have had their full attention to the AD position as they had planned their classes, practices, and with Adam's full-time attention and focus on how to move the district forward with facilities and other places. At the end of tonight's session, we'll have a question and answer. First, I'll introduce District Superintendent Sean.
Let's see if we can get this short up. You guys hear me in the back?
Testing.
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 1, 2.
1, 2.
Is that a little better? Okay, awesome. Very good. Good evening. Again, I'm Sean Kruger, the superintendent of schools here in West Liberty. Very honored to be standing here in front of you tonight. I have to say this is an amazing turnout. It just shows the support, the vested interest, enthusiasm, and eagerness to learn more about this just that we have here in our community. So thank you all very much for coming out here tonight. It means a lot for all of us sitting here. I'd also like to thank Ashley Smith and the high school band for being here. Again, it's always impressive seeing them up on stage in their comfort zone, performing and doing the work that they do and showing off their skills and talents. I'd also like to thank the students that were out front helping to serve and hand out the brochures, and the parents that brought them in. Thank you for having them here tonight. Also, I'd like to thank Midwest One Bank and West Liberty State Bank for their donations tonight. And thank you to Brian Rance for being up here, technology director, helping us to get all the technology stuff going tonight. So thank you to all of them. So tonight, I'll start with the goal. Our goal is to be one of the top performing districts in the state of Iowa. There are six key components to achieving this goal. We want to have championship sports teams. I'd like you to think back to this fall and all the excitement and community pride that we had from our girls volleyball team placing second at state. Or go back a little further to this summer, our girls softball team and the state run that they had. Or most recently, our state participants that we had, wrestlers that went to state, the 5 wrestlers. Or also our FFA students who are making their way through districts and will be soon performing at state, and as well as all the fine arts we have, the band and choir students and all the different performances and things that they've had. There's too many to list all the accomplishments, but the point is we all greatly appreciate and support our outstanding programs. And although newly hired this year, I immediately could feel the joy and sense of pride that these accomplishments bring to all of us here in the community. It was very easy for me to embrace being a Comet and feeling the Comet spirit. We want to continue to provide our students and staff and community with these kinds of experiences for many years to come. Academic excellence. Academic excellence and participation in extracurricular activities goes hand in hand. We need facilities that promote excellence, promote involvement, and that our students can be proud of. We spend a lot of time and resources on staff training and building up our staff so our students can receive a top-notch education from very highly qualified teachers and staff. Premier extracurriculars. We want premier extracurriculars that mold and shape a well-rounded student. Education is more than just core classes. It is electives, it is social and emotional development, and it is extracurricular activities. And for some students, the extracurricular activities they participate in, the relationships formed through those, is what keeps them coming to school. Revenue stream. This will be discussed later in the presentation, but as you will see, by having a larger track, better fields, and more updated facilities, we will be able to host many more events with the opportunities to bring in large crowds of people into our community. Brand elevation. West Liberty Comets. Many of you are here because you already have a strong sense of pride when you think of the blue and white and what it takes and what it means to be a Comet. We want to grow that and expand on the already prideful Comet following. Superior infrastructure. From the addition of the 5th grade wing to the new ELC complex and the new athletic complex and the multi-purpose activities building, we will continue to monitor, evaluate, and grow our district facilities for our students and community. We have also reviewed a long-range facility study and have shared that with our architect as well to make sure that nothing gets overlooked. The first 9 months. One of my most important goals when taking over was and continues to be to learn about the district, learning about our community. I asked the district staff if they would take time to meet with me individually or in small groups, and many took me up on that. I've also met with and continue to meet with different organizations in the community and with individuals within the community. After many meetings, 3 things have been very apparent to me. A very strong sense of pride, a lot of dedication, and the support of the students and school district by the staff and community of West Liberty. I also learned that the facility upgrade plans have been in the making for many years. Years ago, it was part of the plans to have the land available to the south of the high school for the complex that we are working on today, as well as some of the farmland that is connected to the west. And because we're in a strong financial position, we need some major improvements to some of our current facilities. The time to move forward and to make progress is now. Also, by being in this job and having 3 children of my own, I've experienced a large number of facilities and athletic complexes all over the state. I want our district to have the facilities that are comparable or better than our competition. Our students and community deserve the best we can offer. They deserve to have great facilities. Achieving excellence. Our work is never done, and we continually strive for excellence. We want our children to receive top-notch, well-rounded education. We have excellent staff, and we will continue to grow them and support them in the work they do. We will continue to provide strong social and emotional support for our students. Also, we have several outstanding fine arts and activity programs in our district. While there are too many to list, a couple of exemplary programs include, as I previously mentioned, our FFA, which is voted best in the state and whose students continue to produce amazing results. Our band program also continues to grow and achieve excellence, offering multiple opportunities for students to enjoy a wide range of musical experiences, from our marching band to our concert band to our jazz and our mariachi band. And also, who doesn't enjoy an amazing drumline performance that is completely led by our students? Also, the research is very clear about the success of children in activities. Students learn to balance their time, they receive higher grades, and achieve more academic success. They work better in cooperative groups, they're better problem solvers, they develop more leadership skills, they're better teammates, have more pride in their school, and positive connections, and we're more likely to graduate them from high school. While facilities alone won't make a participant excellent, excellent facilities positively support future success. The next 6 months, I will be working with our school board, administration, and staff, prioritizing district needs, goals, and our vision for our district moving forward. We will soon be breaking ground on the new ELC. We will soon be breaking ground on our activities complex. We understand the community is working on new housing developments as well. We want to be able to attract students and families, as well as outstanding staff. And we need to support the community to assist us in creating a top-notch district with high-quality facilities. Fundraising, which you will hear about in this presentation, will be an integral part of this. The athletic complex and other school facilities. Together, let's improve our facilities so that our look reflects our passion, talent, and loyalty of our student, staff, and community. One thing to mention is that I'm aware of a few hiccups with previous construction projects. While many of you who have recently completed a major construction project or done any kind of renovation, construction, can understand things don't always go as planned. However, we have put together a team, an advisory construction team, to help us guide us on our decision making through the planning, building, and completion process. This is in addition to the architect and engineers that will be working on the project as well. By having our own group of local and trusted individuals, we feel it puts us in a very good position for success on this project. Construction Committee. I'd like to introduce our committee members. If they're here, please stand. We have Tim Nichols, committee lead, over 25 years of engineering experience. Bill Simon, owner All American Concrete. Ken and Todd Morrison, owner of Morrison Construction. Matt Daufeld, over 30 years construction and heavy equipment operating experience. And Adam Feldman, former Muscatine County Fair Board president, oversaw the planning, kickoff, and implementation of the $1.5 million infrastructure program. And did I mention Ken and Todd Morrison? Sorry if I skipped over that. Okay. This past Sunday we met, and it was very apparent how important that group is, and just having their experience, the benefit of sharing ideas on this project with them and hearing in, having them weigh in on their expertise on this project. So we're very, very thankful to have them involved in the project as well. So let's give these gentlemen a hand for their dedication and commitment to our project. And now it's on to school financials. Fortunately for all of us, our district is doing very well financially. This is due in a large part to having a very responsible business manager at BOTs and careful planning. It is also because of caring school board members who support the work we are doing and understand the financial commitment it takes to achieve sustainability and excellence. It has come up probably in conversation. How are we going to pay for this? Is it all going to be fundraising? Is this going to raise our taxes? Where are you guys getting the money? Because of careful planning, we are able to use our PEPAL, which is physical plant and equipment levy money, and our SAVE, the statewide penny money, to fund the ELC project and a majority of the athletic complex. This will be done without raising taxes. However, we still need your support in addition to the state and local funding to help supplement this project. Fundraising will greatly enhance our project in the completion and upgrades of the facilities. We have been working with experts in various fields, including attorneys, tax law advisors, and foundations, all helping us to develop a strategy to support the ambitious goals needed to move us forward and help us succeed in being at the forefront in education in the state of Iowa. The key person behind our fundraising efforts is Lisa Wurzbacher. Lisa has been volunteering her time and energy to helping our school district with this process. Her expertise, professional experience, and wisdom in this area are priceless, and we greatly appreciate everything Lisa has done and will continue to do for our district and community. Thank you very much, Lisa. There she is. Last, I'd like to introduce Adam Maria. Adam is in his second year as our activities director. I've been impressed with his passion, enthusiasm, his loyalty, and his dedication to our school, our students, and our district. His efforts help grow our activities department in many, many ways. He has always taken a student-centered approach in the work that he does for our district. Adam has been a catalyst in getting this project moving forward. Upon hire, he immediately started to analyze our current facilities and their needs and how we could help improve and grow our facilities to support championship teams and to recruit families to our district. Adam has spent numerous hours, driven many miles to research activity complexes, not only in our state, but beyond. Adam has also created a committee of volunteers with expertise to support and advise the district on this project. Adam Maria.
Thank you, and I will, I will echo some of the things that Sean said. This is a fantastic turnout for us tonight. This just shows the amount of pride this community has in what we're trying to accomplish, and it's fantastic to see some of the young kids in here that will certainly benefit tremendously from this project. We couldn't be happier to have everybody here. So, as Sean alluded to, when the high school was built, the original plan was to move the baseball and softball field to the south end of the high school. What our plan is now is to not only move the baseball and softball field, but to also move the football, soccer, and track complex as well. Doing that does allow us to be a lot more efficient with all of our resources, consolidate storage for equipment. You know, if you go over to baseball and softball, you see all the little storage sheds around. Hopefully we can get that taken care of in fewer sheds. And it also allows one place for visitors. I was talking to somebody the other day, how confusing I think it is for some people coming from out of town. Oh, we're playing West Liberty. Where? Are we at the elementary school? Are we at the middle school? Are we across the street, or are we at the high school? So this is certainly going to help us with that as well. The committee we put together, as Superintendent Kruger stated, is a committee of people that will help with our fundraising effort. Co-chairs are myself and Jason Cassidy. Jason is the president of West Liberty State Bank. He has 20 plus years of experience in banking and financial management, 20 plus years of loan management and implementation experience. And Jason is currently managing a loan portfolio of over $65 million. Other committee members, as was mentioned, Tim Nichols. Tim is an engineer for Hahn Company, with 25 years of engineering experience. He holds 3 patents, 10 plus years of managing nonprofit infrastructure projects. Buildings Committee Chairman for the Muscatine County Fair, and has executed on over $1.5 million for infrastructure improvements at the Muscatine County Fair. As was mentioned, and the person that is really helping guide us in our fundraising efforts, I put an initial committee together of a group of people that knows people in the community, and we kind of looked at each other and said, we don't really know how to fundraise money, so We got Lisa on board, and Lisa has been, as Sean said, a tremendous asset for us. So Lisa Wurzbacher, owner of Wurzbacher Consulting, has 20 plus years of sales and finance experience. Has advised companies with over $500 million in annual revenue on revenue and finance strategy. She has successfully applied for over $400,000 in grant funding for West Liberty area projects since 2014. And she's also helped fundraise over $1 million for West Liberty area projects since 2014. Troy Wolf. Troy's entering his 20th season as our head baseball coach. Tonight is the first night Troy has worn a suit in 20 plus years. Thanks for dressing up. Troy's a four-year letterman in baseball at the University of Iowa and has 20 plus years of experience working with Division I athletes at the University of Iowa. Also recently, we've added two more members to our committee to help us out with projects. Lynn Zeman, who is representing the Fine Arts Booster Club, and Josie Gingrich, who's representing the Athletic Booster Club. Please help me in giving them a round of applause. So as you can see, we have many different professional areas of expertise covered on our committee. I just want to take this moment to thank each and every one of them. We meet once a month, first Sunday of the month typically, and but the amount of time and hours and effort that they put in outside of that is tremendous. Whether it's phone calls, text messages, emails, it's a group that's very, very dedicated to the students of our school district. And a committee, I think, that's going to do a fabulous job for all of us. So thank you again to everybody involved. So we've broken this project into 3 phases. Phase 1 will be the outdoor fields and facilities. Phase 2 will be an indoor training facility. That will be constructing the indoor training facility. And phase 3 will be equipping the indoor training facility. So phase 1 of the project, I will say, and there's a couple renderings outside, and there'll be one up here on the screen as well. This will not be the final layout of the project. What we're showing here is just the fields that will be involved. They include, obviously, the baseball field and softball field, a turf football field with a regulation-sized soccer field, something we currently do not have, and an 8-lane track. Currently, we only have 6 lanes on our track. We are working on finalizing the final layout of where the fields will all fit. There's plenty of room down there. It's just there's a water line we're trying to avoid and some other things that we're adjusting for. So we'll find areas for, obviously, the fields, concession stands, storage buildings, more parking, and more. So we hope to have that final layout completed soon that we will then share with the community as well. So why is this necessary? You'll see above me just a list of some of the issues we have at our current facilities. Number one thing on all 3 of those lists is we have no ADA seating, which creates a huge problem. We also have a lack of adequate irrigation system at both our baseball and softball fields, inadequate restroom facilities at the baseball and softball fields. Our baseball field has a significant slope from left field to the first baseline. Our crow's nest creates an obstructed view at baseball and softball. Our crow's nest at the football field and track is too small. And we have a lack of a regulation-sized soccer field, as I said before. And one other point with the ADA compliance, if you've ever been to one of our track meets, you'll also know that we actually block off an entire section of the sidewalk for our timing equipment, which obviously creates another safety concern for that facility. Which does bring us to our biggest issue and one of our more unfortunate issues. This past fall, our maintenance director, who I know I saw here somewhere, raise your hand, Jeremiah, where are you at? Thank you, Jeremiah Smith. He was over painting the football field for our first football game, and he calls me and said, "You got to come look at this." And right about where the 200-meter dash starts in turn 3, we have a heave in our track. So we called the track company down. We had them take a look at it, and they just said, "You cannot use this for a meet." So unfortunately, we will not be hosting any track meets at our track this year. We will be hosting 6 track meets, 4 of them at West Branch, 1 at Wilton, and 1 we're still looking for a home for. But we will have our track meets. We'll just have to take this show on the road. So, I will go back 1 second really quick. I mentioned Jeremiah. He and his crew have been a humongous asset to our district. The amount of times that I've been able to go to Jeremiah with certain, problems or, ideas, and he comes back to me. He and his crew have done a tremendous job. There's only so much that they can do at some of our facilities because they are so outdated. But they do a nice job of keeping everything looking good and keeping everything in good working order. So if we could give Jeremiah a nice round of applause, I'd appreciate it. He'll be the first one in my office tomorrow. Say, why did you call me out like that? So we did take a dive into looking at repairing what we could at our current facilities. These are just some estimated costs that we came up with. You see the total price tag of repairing those at about $1.2 million. What I will remind you of is repairing what we currently have does not give us a regulation soccer field. We can't have one where we currently have the soccer field. And it would not fix any obstructed views at the baseball and softball fields. So when you add those prices in as well, you're talking significantly more. We will also be upgrading, as I said earlier, from a 6-lane track to an 8-lane track, which will allow us to host, for example, conference track meets, state qualifying track meets, something we are not able to host right now with a 6-lane track. That's bringing more people to our community, spending money in our community, benefiting our school district and our students. So as far as the turf field goes, we've been asked several times, why turf? These are some rough annual maintenance costs that Jeremiah and I sat down and came up with. We are very, very fortunate here that we have a handful of volunteers that actually do some of this work for us. We will not always be that fortunate. We have some coaches that take care of some of their own fields, which is great. We have some other community members that help us take care of another field, which is fantastic, and we truly appreciate that, but it's something we can't count on forever. So these are just some annual costs, and one of the other issues that we ran into last year, of all things that there's been a shortage of, white field paint. Now, we have enough. We'll get through the soccer season. We'll be okay. But it's one of those things where you think of all the things you are going to worry about as an AD. Finding enough white field paint never crossed my mind. So we were able to track some down, and we're good to go for now. Turf field obviously is less maintenance. There is a myth that it's no maintenance. There is maintenance to it, but it's far less than obviously having a natural grass field. And one of the big advantages is we can play on that as long as there's no snow on it. Whereas right now we're trying to stay off the game field and, until it until we get it a little bit drier. But with the turf field, obviously, as soon as the snow melts, we're good to go. Turf fields are also a great marketing tool for our district. Once we have our turf field, we'll become only the second school in our conference that will have a turf football field. Currently, there is no school in our conference. Next year, through the conference realignment with North Cedar leaving and Beckman and Maquoketa joining our conference, Beckman does have a turf field. So we will be the second school in our league with a turf football and soccer field. Our goal as a district and as a community is to help support our athletes in becoming championship sports teams. We do not have a team state champion yet. I say yet. We are getting very, very close. We have numerous individual state champions. But we are still looking for that first elusive team state championship, and these facilities will obviously help us. One of the big things that we've talked about is continuing to put Band-Aids on projects should we come up with a permanent fix. And obviously with this project, we're coming up with a long-term solution, and that is our goal, and that's what we are going to do with this project. We have an estimated timeline and budget that we have come up with working with the architects and the engineers. This is estimated because, again, we are still dealing with the layout of the fields. Once we get that finalized here in the very, very near future, we'll get the renderings and site drawings, and we'll be ready to go. So again, these are very estimated rough drawings. Without the actual drawings, it's tough to come up with an exact budget. But our goal is to be hosting home football games in our new stadium in the fall of 2023. So we've got a lot of work to get done, but it's something that we're all very, very excited about. We did mention there are 3 phases to this project. Phase 2 is constructing an indoor facility, and phase 3 will be equipping the indoor facility. This indoor facility will be the biggest and best around. It is approximately, the drawing we have right now, approximately 54,000 square feet. It will include a new, larger weight room than what we currently have. And when we move our weight room out there, we will be able to expand our wrestling room, which we will need. Obviously, our number of wrestlers, we have a solid number of wrestlers, including we are hoping for 20 or more girls going out for girls wrestling next year, the first year it will be sanctioned in the state of Iowa, which is fantastic. The indoor facility will also include batting cages for baseball and softball. Some of those nets will double as golf hitting nets as well. And there will be a large turf area with a curtain in the middle of it to be able to split it in half, or we can keep it as one large area. This will also benefit the marching band. Currently, we have some bad weather. They can't get outside. They have nowhere to go. With an indoor facility, they will have enough room in the turf area to be able to move their practice indoors. This facility will bring people to our community, not only people who would want to go to school here, but we'll be able to host special events in the facility, again, generating revenue for our community and for the school district. So we have different types of, or different sponsorship levels. As you can see, there's lots of areas that we plan to cover and, to recognize different people, businesses, corporations for their generosity. And this list will continue to grow as we finalize those drawings, in the near future. Some of the many benefits of partnering with us on this project is signage at the site of a structure, participation in groundbreaking and ribbon cutting, recognition at the first event hosted in the sponsored facility, recognition at fundraising events, press release on all gifts over $10,000, and a permanent display at the Donor Recognition Plaza. I was actually at a AD conference the last 4 days in Coralville and talked to a company that does that type of work. And so I hope to get some examples to show some of our team here in the near future, some things that will be pretty sharp. We've had a great press with this already, and I do appreciate the press that has covered this and written stories for us. And we continue to have people inquire and reach out to us and ask us questions and run different news stories. So we're off to a great start, but again, have a lot of work to do. Lastly, for me, if you are interested in volunteering or giving for this project, I would urge you to please call the Central Administration Office. You can ask for Sean or myself and set up a meeting with us, and we can discuss some possibilities. The reason fundraising will be vital for this project is a lot of the grants and different gifts that we're going to go out and seek will require a match. And so in order for us to be able to do that, we're going to need to fundraise some money. With that, I just want to thank everybody again for coming tonight, and I'm going to turn this back over to Jason Cassidy.
All right, so West Liberty, now's the time to build. Is now the time to build? The district thinks it is, and you've heard why the need is to move this project forward. Studies have shown that there are 3 major factors people consider when they're choosing a place to live and work. 1 is the aesthetics and the feel of the town. 2 is the academic and athletic performance of the school district. And 3 is the arts, culture, and leisure opportunities within the community. The time is now. The downtown district is gaining momentum on retail, leisure, and beautification efforts. New long-term administration in the schools. The city is planning for parks and rec long-term strategies. The committee to manage the project consists of high-level professional Professionally accomplished volunteers, for example, the construction committee, will be a useful tool for the district when it comes to planning and executing the project. Their knowledge and expertise will be used to bounce ideas, solve problems, and come up with solutions that may arise. West Liberty will either embrace these challenges and grow, or will get left behind. The complex can make a statement for the district and the community to be one of the best. Business and economic benefits. There is a direct correlation between the school district performance and your local economy performance. Strong schools and polished aesthetics provide an excellent recruiting environment for companies and communities. We also want our graduates to come back to live in West Liberty and be part of our community, and this project will be more attractive to them. We have a lot of talented kids in our district that are currently in our district and have graduated. Let's bring that talent back to West Liberty. Companies who support this project will experience significant brand elevation. This project will have professional press and major recognition opportunities for all businesses, individuals, and organizations who participate. This is a once in a 50-year opportunity. If you want to be a part of this project, now is the time. Before we move on to our Q&A, Sean has a special announcement to recognize a donation to kick off our fundraising efforts.
Last week, we met with Larry and Gloria Deloy of Bettendorf, Iowa, to present this project to. And they are making an extremely generous gift offering of $50,000 to the West Liberty School District to kickstart the fundraising. Gloria Deloy, formerly Gloria Daufelt, graduated from West Liberty High School, class of 1966. She was raised on a farm south of Atalissa, and she and Larry have several nieces and nephews within the school district. Their daughter, Lisa Wurzbarger, and her husband, Jason, also live in West Liberty and have 3 children in the school district. They do not want to come up and speak, but they have agreed to have a statement read. The Deloy family statement. We are honored and humbled to support this tremendous West Liberty School District project. After meeting with the superintendent and the activities director, we chose to give $50,000. First, because we were extremely impressed by the professionalism of the administration, and second, we had no idea how badly these facilities are needed. We had 4 kids, one with special needs, who were able to attend a very good public school district that helped them achieve a great education and far beyond their expectations. We didn't have much when we started our business 30 years ago, but we could give them that for free. We believe that Iowa's public school system sets our state apart. We also believe there is a strong correlation between extracurricular programs and academic excellence, and kids who participate in activities perform better in school and are more prepared for life beyond school. We strongly feel all West Liberty students and the community will benefit from this project. There are families, many families, students, and community members who have dedicated hours of volunteer time and loyalty to the West Liberty School District over the many years. We want to say thank you to them. Writing a check is easy, putting in the work is hard. Thank you to the volunteers working on this project. Let's go Comets. On behalf of the West Liberty School District, we want to thank Larry and Gloria Deloy for their generous gift. We greatly appreciate it. Would you please stand up and be recognized? Thank you very much. Gloria and Larry. And at this time, we'll open the session up for Q&A, so questions and answers here. Lisa will go around with a microphone, or you can just shout out your question. We will do our best to entertain and answer anything that you have for us.
The plan is obviously it's going to be meant for our groups. However, what we're doing with that is we're opening up more space, whether it's in our gyms or our indoor facility, for outside groups. It won't just be open to the public, obviously during the school day, being a school use facility. One of the things that we are able to do with it is move PE classes out there. So, we're covering obviously athletics, academics, and the fine arts with it. But there will be opportunities obviously for outside organizations, youth groups, our youth groups, to use that facility.
Yeah, I'm just curious what's going to happen with the old facility.
Since these projects are a ways out, at this point, we're going to hang on to those facilities, and we will work with our school board and community to figure out a long-term plan for those. The land right across the street here, our current football field and track area, could be utilized in a lot of ways. It could become a practice field for our kids, for various teams. I'd say the list is endless of possibilities of what we could do with that. The old ELC building, I don't know. We're in the kind of infancy steps of really taking a look at that and seeing how we want to progress. There really isn't a big hurry to figure out, right now what we're going to do with that. I think we have a little time to make those decisions and finalize those plans.
How much of the money are we looking to fundraise?
As much as we can. And it's kind of a joke, but it's seriously, when you look at projects and facilities and all that goes into them, really the sky's the limit. Like I said before, we're sitting good financially as a district, but the fundraising efforts for this project are going to greatly enhance whatever we put forth to the public, our finished product. And hopefully it continues, and we can continue to build upon the great facilities that we have.
And I can say something about that too. We have a multi-million-dollar fundraising strategy in place. The bottom line is, I've been doing all kinds of research since last October when I got on this project. I'm looking at all the schools in the district, the districts in the state of Iowa, and who ranks at the top of the list. And the school districts that are at the very top have very healthy foundations. They do not just rely on state and federal appropriations to fund what they need for their district, and that literally makes all the difference. Money solves lots of problems, money makes lots of things better, and so what we really want to do is use this project as a catalyst to get a robust fundraising strategy going for West Liberty that will continue on, because most districts who get something, and once they get the ball rolling, it just becomes a part of their day-to-day operations. And in my personal experience fundraising, once you get a successful plan moving, money just continues to come in. And so, we're going to go after several $1 million. And hopefully it becomes an indefinite part of how the district is managed. Somebody over here have a question?
Currently, we're looking into it. My guess is it will not fit in our budget, but there have been discussions about both. There have been discussions about turfing part of baseball. You see some facilities that will turf the infield, keep natural grass in the outfield. So I would say nothing's off the table, but at the current time, we're probably looking at natural grass on both of those.
So the fundraising is going to be ongoing. I mean, like I said, this is basically jump-starting our school foundation and taking it to a new level. When Adam showed the sponsorship opportunities, those will go as people take them, okay? And so And there will be a lot of professional marketing and press associated with every single gift that's given to the district. I mean, even if you give us $1, you're going to be recognized for that. And so that it's ongoing. And this phase of the project, the sponsorship opportunities will go as people select them, but the district's always going to have need, hopefully, right? As we grow and we get bigger and more families come here, we add more programs. That's why it will be an ongoing part of the school district strategy.
Yeah, I'll touch on a couple of different things, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I will say, even currently, it's kind of confusing. We're a 2A football school, and with the state being in charge of our football schedule, we play 2 3A schools as our non-district games, and I won a powerhouse in Regina. So it is kind of a unique situation that we're in. I will say this. About 2 months ago, our football coach, who I think I saw here somewhere, Jason, you were on. Thank you. Jason Iskey and I, we took a road trip together down to the St. Louis area to meet with a company that does turf and tracks. And he took us around to, I think it was about 8 different facilities. Some were his turf, some were competitors' turf, some were new, some were old, just to kind of see how the turf holds up over the course of time. It was very, very informative. We've actually reached out to another turf company recently to just kind of get their ideas and their specs on their equipment as well. The company that we went and visited has most recently done the Williamsburg turf field and track, and last year they did Centerville, Iowa's turf field and track as well. We've also, gone around and looked at facilities around eastern Iowa. West Des Moines Dowling is another school that has used the same company that Williamsburg did. It's a different style of turf now, just because theirs is significantly older. So we're continuing to look into that. And it's something that we're getting more and more confident with hopefully being able to make a decision of who we'd like to have do our turf field. Take good care of it. It's going to last probably upwards of 15 to 20 years. If you don't, it's not going to last as long. So that's a lot of pressure on Jeremiah. But no, the newer styles of turf, they will last significantly longer than some of the older styles. Some of the fields that Coach Iskey and I went and looked at, where the turf gets matted down, you could really sense who maintains and who takes care of their turf and who doesn't. One thing I will also say, that with a turf field, a lot of people see that upfront cost, and it's expensive. It's well worth it, but it's expensive. When you have to replace the turf, it is not that full price again. It is less than half of that, because all you're doing is replacing that top surface or that top carpet. You're not replacing all the underlayment, the drainage, and everything else. That all stays put. So whenever that comes up, if that's 12 years, if that's 15 years, if that's 18 years, those types of things do need to be replaced at times. But again, the technology that they're coming up with is getting better and better all the time. Other people have mentioned that before, yeah. Yeah, so we met, month and a half ago or so with the engineers that are working on this project. Met with a civil engineer, which was fantastic. He helped actually put my mind at ease. I'm not, I can't speak for Superintendent Kruger, but that's kind of their thing to help us. We mentioned the water line that's running across there. They're helping us determine, do we need to move that? Can we build on top of it? What do we need to do? The last thing we want to do is put a field on top of a water line, and 2 years later it breaks and we have to dig up part of the field. So we're relying a lot on them. Our construction committee, which has been fantastic. Our first meeting with the construction committee, that was the majority of the meeting we talked about. It was drainage issues, things like that. I can say, when Coach Iske and I were down in St. Louis, we actually got to see a field that was in progress, a turf field in progress. It was at a fifth grade center. Why a fifth grade center needs a turf field? Still confusing, but the amount of gravel and rock that goes under those fields to allow for some of that freeze and thaw is tremendous. I want to say it was 8 to 12 inches of limestone rock, and then some crushed rock, some sand base, and then the carpet goes on top. So we've got some good people looking into those concerns, just because we know they are some major concerns, including our construction committee. Fantastic.
My question's for Sean. Hi. Thank you for the update. I was just curious. I'm wondering if the school district has any plan in terms of increasing the representation of our teachers so that it better represents our teachers and our school administration and professional staff, everyone, so that it better represents the community that it serves here in West Liberty.
If I heard you right, the question was about representation of our staff and reflecting the community that we have.
Right.
Yeah, that is a huge challenge. I don't know how many of you do hiring in your position and see what we have out there in the job market for applicants. Just overall, in general, the field of teaching is seeing way less applicants over the past few years than we've ever seen, at least since I was young, and that was quite a while ago. It used to be where you might have, for a metro area, maybe like an Iowa City or Des Moines, Milwaukee, or some of those big schools, you might have 500 elementary ed applicants for one position. You get a little further out, you might have 300 applicants for one position. Now, just to put that in perspective, we had a music position in elementary that we couldn't even get applicants for to start the school year. That's how much things have changed with finding staff. And so, add another layer of that of trying to bring in teachers that reflect our community. Yeah, we're always looking for diversity and just a multitude of variety of people to bring in and help us out, people that can relate to our students in many different ways. But the challenge is real of just getting those applicants. We have people that go to job fairs. Ms. Arthur Miller has attended a job fair, and Mrs. Vernon has attended a job fair this spring. So I think I know we've hit at least a couple of them. There's still applicants out there. But then the amount of applicants that we're receiving is just a lot lower nowadays. And so we're doing everything we can to fill our positions. We certainly want to represent the student population we have here, but it does continue to be a challenge.
Yeah, I know that Iowa overall in general hasn't that additional talent. So I was just curious about maybe growing our own programs that we have for a pipeline. But also the second part to that question is any retention efforts to keep our staff and our teachers that we do have here so that they don't leave our district.
Yeah, for sure. I fully believe that keeping and retaining good people is key to success. And anybody that has a business, manages people, it doesn't matter education or whatever it is, you want to keep good people around. It's getting to be even more competitive with the lower number of staff out there applying for jobs, potential candidates for positions. Districts are getting pretty creative in what they're doing and the ways that they're going about recruiting and trying to bring teachers to their community. Just probably one of the biggest things is I think, trying to work on culture and climate. I think people tend to stick around more in places that they enjoy working, in places where they feel supported not only by administration and by fellow staff, but also by the community, by the students, etc. So we really need to continue to work on our culture and climate and make this a positive and working environment for our staff. We're trying to get our salaries up, but that's pretty restricted when you're a not-for-profit organization and it's based on taxpayer funding. We don't have banner years where we can, give out big bonuses or so forth. It's pretty steady. It's pretty, the state funding has been coming in way under inflation. So it adds challenges to us to try to figure out ways to pay our staff and be competitive with other school districts that need staff just as much as we do. So positive, supportive environments, I think is probably number one. Trying to remain competitive in salaries and benefits, etc. And just continually looking at other ways, getting creative to see what we can do to keep our staff here.
I also personally think that one big way to kickstart that is 2 strong administrators who plan to stay here, which they've both made that commitment over and over again. So that's critical, in my opinion.
No, the plan is to start them all at the same time. Completion dates obviously are going to vary. Some of that's going to, depend on, do we do turf on baseball? Is it all natural grass? What kind of weather? But no, the plan is they're all going to start at the same time, and hopefully be completed a reasonable amount of time around each other. So yeah, does that answer? Right. Nope. Yeah. I'll get them started at the same time.
Yeah, she's asking about just update of this facility and other current facilities. Did I understand that correctly, ma'am? Yeah, and so, one of the funding sources I mentioned before was the PEPL, physical plant and equipment levy. That's an ongoing levy that continues. I think we just voted that in for next 10 years, if I believe. There's 2 parts of that, board approved, voter approved. And so that funding goes toward mainly facility updates. Let's say your boiler system breaks down, we need a new boiler, so we can use that physical plant and equipment levy for things of that nature, or roof repairs, or something with the auditorium isn't proper or needs fixed and updated. We can use those funds, as well as we still have more of the SAVE fund, that statewide penny, and other just general fund monies that we can utilize. So not everything, we still have money reserved to for normal, regular maintenance and district operations. Yeah, absolutely. And just talking about mentioned the computer system maybe needing to be updated, or if lights need to be updated, whatever it might be, like just here in the auditorium. And I won't go through everything I just said, but yeah, all those funds that I've been talking about can be utilized for maintenance and upgrades of things of that nature. Yeah.
Other questions?
So when a school district takes on projects like this, there's a lot of rules, regulations, procedures that we have to follow, way more than just somebody building a private home. We hire architects. We have a bidding process. General contractors come in. They have to meet certain specs, regulations. I mean, they're, hundreds of pages of documents with specifications and certain things that they have to do. So in addition to the engineers, architects, and everybody that will be working on this project or these projects, we also have a team of local experts that we had talked about that we can run ideas by as well. So maybe we're talking with the architects or the general contractors about certain things. Maybe certain issues come up, something comes up. We can run it by our local team of experts here to help us just to see, does that, seem accurate? Do those things that we're hearing seem legitimate? And so I think we have, a lot of checks and balances. We have, there's a lot of people with a vast wealth of knowledge in construction and facilities that are doing this project. We're just here to make sure, that things are done well. They're the ones that are there to make sure things are done to code and specifications, etc. And we're just here to kind of help facilitate and move that process along. We always have timelines in construction. As the middle school took longer than they thought. The bus barn, we won't even talk about that. I don't know a lot about that, but don't really want to hear too much more about that. But beautiful building now, but I know it took a long time. Things happen. There's gonna be hiccups along the way. We can't control the weather. We're doing a facility, a football, baseball field, dirt and land prep is the first part of that. And if you have the rainiest fall you've ever had, obviously that could slow things up. I mean, things are just going to come up and happen, but we have some pretty good timelines, been working with architects and engineers on those timelines and really doing everything within our power to encourage them to give us the most realistic timelines that they can. We don't want we don't want false promises. We don't want them telling us just what we want to hear. We want them giving us the most realistic information that we can get so that we can share that with you and just, be honest, open and transparent with people.
Any more questions?
I'm just gonna say.
back to the beginning. But please don't take a lot that don't kick them off when they're giving their professional advice. It hurts.
Over here. Yep.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question, Jared. I think we're probably, and I'm not just punting the question. I think we're a little early on that. Just right now, our focus obviously is just on the outdoor fields. We're still generating ideas of the indoor facility. Here, I'll give everybody an example. So this last week and a half, when the weather's just been awful, having to move 2 high school soccer teams, 2 high school track teams, 2 high school golf teams, and 2 junior high track teams inside. See the point? Like, it's hard. With the indoor facility, obviously, now we have a lot more space. That also doesn't include the baseball and softball teams that want to use the one facility they can use right now, which is the middle school gym. To answer part of your question, I think the facility's intent is obviously helping our coaches with their needs. For example, if we had this indoor facility right now, we drop that curtain down. We got boys soccer on one side, girls soccer on one side. They got plenty of room. Baseball and softball could be in the cages, and now we've got gym space available for track teams or weight room available for track teams. So, we have had conversations about, revamping a little bit of our strength and conditioning program and adding some things possibly, in the near future. I just think we're too early right now for that. As we get these outdoor plans finalized, we'll start moving into the indoor plans and hopefully, maybe have a better answer than that soon. Yeah, so a couple things with that. So I'll be just flat honest, I don't know where that facility is right now. I will say this, the Iowa High School Athletic Association and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union has rules. Our teams cannot go off our campus to go practice. So we have to use our own facilities. Now, there's, the rare occasions that, okay, if there's an emergency, yeah, they allow it, but it's not something our teams can go utilize, a facility that's not owned by the school district and not on our campus. You talk about the youth sports. That's obviously a vital part of this, with the number of young people in here. They're the ones, I feel like, they get penalized the most this time of year when I have to move all of our high school teams inside. And some of you youth coaches that are in here, you get sick of my emails saying, well, we got to bump you out. Obviously, with the indoor facility, then that gives us a lot more space, and we won't have to be doing that. It gives our volleyball and our basketball programs more gym space, because now we're going to take the batting cages out of the middle school gym, and they'll be in the new indoor facility. So more time and space for people that need to use the gym. And then obviously the amount of space in the turf area inside, that takes, again, boys soccer was just in our gym for an hour and 45 minutes after school tonight. They can be in the indoor facility and somebody else can use the gym.
And Jeff, Nick Heath was on our committee till about 2 weeks ago, and then he had to resign just because he has other commitments and other things going on. So we had a representative from the city because we realized that the youth sports are the feeder teams. And so we're working with him to find somebody who could replace him that would represent, because our partnership with the city is going to be critical. So there is a seat on our committee for that title. Other questions?
Well, if there are no other questions, then that concludes our program this evening. Thank you again so much, everybody, for coming in tonight. And we'll be around. We'll hang out a little bit out here, too, if you have any other questions you want to ask Adam or I or anybody else here. So thank you again so much for coming out tonight. Appreciate it.